Hi everyone, it's Anne. Welcome to my channel, Head Trip Creations, where I do mixed media portrait art of all different types. This gal was so much fun to do. I used a lot of materials and techniques that I think you'll find interesting. I can't wait to show you how I did it. The video will start now. Enjoy. So here I am starting with a very simple sketch using a number 2 pencil, using the side of the tip so I don't get that shine, and it's also like shading and it's easy to erase if I need to, and it kind of slows me down and helps me to see where I am, and it also gives me the opportunity to do early contouring and to kind of measure the proportions. Even I'm just eyeballing it. And so I'm working on the eyes and the creases, and now I went into the background with cream acrylic, and you can see when it hits the graphite how it's shaded. And this is clear gesso, which dries very gritty because I'm going to be using soft pastels, and you need to have a gritty surface for pastels. This is brown acrylic. It's burnt umber that's already mixed with alcohol, and this is glycerin, and then I add a little bit more alcohol to the mix because I'm making a glaze, and you can see what happens to her complexion and to the graphite. And then once I was done with the face, I went over the entire piece. And now that the surface is gritty, it's really holding the graphite when I go into it again with the pencil. And now I'm using Soft Pastels by Arrtx, Arrtx. I'm using all different colors. I'm not really being particular about what kind of colors I'm using. I'm just grabbing them. I'm not leaving her like this. She looks very fanciful. Maybe she has curlers in her hair, flowers in her hair. But I just want to get a mix because these colors, when they mix with each other, make tertiary colors. And so I'm just finishing up this colorful mix. And now I start blending with my fingers, 2 hands. And if you're wondering what that black thing on my finger is, it's called a finger sleeve. It's just like wearing a latex glove, but just the finger, because my cuticle needs to be protected. So I am blending, blending, blending. Now with the paper towel. And then I'm going to glaze just like I did before. But now I'm glazing over all of these colorful soft pastels, and it just takes on a whole new look. And once it was down, I spritzed with rubbing alcohol, and everything beaded. And then I brushed it away from the face only. And I love the way that looked. I mean, she was illuminated. And look at all that beading. I mean, it makes a fantastic background. So that was a happy surprise. A technique for future pieces. Cleaning up the complexion a little bit more, drying it really well. And now I'm going into all of the features with a black gel pen, which is highly water soluble. So if any moisture comes anywhere near this black gel, it's going to activate. It's almost like ink. Well, it is ink actually, but it's gel. So you have to be careful, but at the same time, you can use it to your advantage. I usually use micron pens, but I am a micron pen killer, and so I switched to gel pens. So here with the wet brush, I'm activating the gel. And now I am going all around, kind of mapping out her hair with the alcohol and burnt umber. And it looks great, but it's nice and wet, but it dries very matte. But I love this look, maybe for another piece. So now I'm adding more pastels. So we have pink and yellow, and I'm blending them, but look at this color. Oh my goodness, like burnt umber, I don't know, dark orange. I'm just throwing all kinds, green, blue, orange. And there's I don't know the names of the colors, but there was like almost like a crimson, like a raisin. And here I am touching up her complexion with cream acrylic and adding some color to her lips, activating again. I'm activating the gel in her lips, pulling the pastels onto the eyelids. I'm just going all around, defining, contouring. And now with the precision bottle, I'm drawing a butterfly. This is cream acrylic that is cut with Flow Aid in this small precision bottle, needle tip precision bottle. Just very suggestive. Just side view, the antennas, and now a flower. So there's 5 petals, and I go over it a couple of times throughout the process because it actually drinks up all of the pigments in the pastels. And now I am drawing a bird, and it came out okay, but I don't know if it was because it might have been too big. I decided to go over it, but before I covered the bird, I'm just adding some lines to her hair, because when you go over that, because I glaze repeatedly, like right now I'm going to glaze, it's dry, I dry everything off camera, but this time I'm only glazing around her hair, not her face. And you can see how dark it looks. So she's starting to look like how she looks in the end. She's coming along. This is PanPastel in a cream, so I'm just touching up her complexion. I'm darkening with the glaze again, drying, and now I'm adding more pastels. So this is like a crimson, and I'm glazing the pastels, which kind of sets it. So I'm adding the pastels, go more of the orange. And in case you're wondering, it's important to, touching up the neck here, it's important to spray with fixative spray at the end whenever you use pastels. This is Jane Davenport's birthday suit, and here I am activating the lips to darken them. And now this is the showstopper. I just did some kind of, I completely winged it, just doing some kind of swirls and shapes like leaves. And then, so they were black alcohol ink or diluted acrylic, and then filled it in with burnt umber, full strength. So it's really thick, and the brown is mixing with the black, and I love the way that looks. It's so rich looking. And right here is my bird. So he's or she is almost camouflaged because it's the same size as all of those leaves. A few more lines, rounding off the leaves. Connecting them and doing its head, and those are its feet, its tail, more lines, and going over the black with the burnt umber to warm it up a little bit, and the bird. And now doing some lines with the precision bottle for her hair. Touching up the butterfly, going over the lines, because it drinks up all of the colors around it and gets lost. Same thing with the flower. Little eye shine on the nose, lips. And now, this is Dylusions Crushed Pumpkin Spray. I want to add some orange to her hair, but I didn't want to use just the pastel. So here I am kind of blending it in. And now this is gold tempera paint. So it's very translucent. So I went over the orange. So it's kind of like a mix. And I went all the way to the top, which I love the way this looks. It's very whimsical, like the hair goes on forever. Touching up the lines again in the flower and the butterfly. But I am going to define the hair a little bit. Like right here, I'm just adding a few very simple lines. And then within Arteza, real brush pen, in black, I'm giving her hair wisps and going all around those lines that I made. So you have a thick line and a lot of thin lines. Touching up this leaf. And now, this is the last step. She is just touching up her lipstick before she goes out. And she is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have any questions about my process or materials, which I've detailed below, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will, because I upload regularly. Until the next video, take care. I'll see you soon.